You guys, I'm back with more just enthusiasm for singing cadences and chord progressions in Moveable Do Solfege. What can I say? It's a sickness. I know a lot of people prefer to teach like the sort of sexier side of like technical exercises and fancy scales and things like that. But for me, the root of music is really hearing intervals, understanding how melodies work, and understanding how chord progressions work as well. So this video is going to take you through yet another chord progression in Moveable Do Solfege on the piano in 12 keys. Get ready. Here it comes. I'm Brenda Earle Stokes. I'm the owner and creator of Piano and Voice with Brenda, and I create creative and practical resources for singers, pianists, and music teachers. And here we are again. This is my 4th week in a series of having us all work through some cadences together. Not only showing you how to voice lead them on the piano, but also how to sing the bass notes in Moveable Do Solfege. This is such an incredible and very direct and deliberate way for you to be able to understand and hear all of these chords and progressions and understand how they work. Not only is this great for listening to music and be able to say, I can hear the chord progression. You know, those people who can sit down and play any song, they hear it. This is how you learn to do that. This is how you do it. It's also a way, if you're a songwriter or you're someone who composes, having all of this inside of you that you can draw from will help you to harmonize your own songs. There's just a million and one reasons to do this. So the first week I showed you how to play a plagal cadence, the 1-4-1 progression through all 12 keys, and I'll leave a link to that right here. The second week, so 2 weeks ago, I showed you how to play a perfect cadence, so from 1 to 5-7 to 1, and I will leave a link to that up here now. And then last week I showed you how to play 1-4-1 5-7-1 through all 12 keys, and I will link to that here. This week we're going to do from 1-4-5-1, and once again, it's a war horse. This shows up all over the place. It's very, very useful for progression. It's like a very useful progression. So I'm going to throw it on the screen for you to look at, and you can see I'm going from C to F to G7 to C. Now, the C triad is in root position, which means that the C is on the bottom. It's in its standard form. And then when we go to the F chord, all right, we're going to F in its second inversion. All right, so that means that the 5th of the chord is on the bottom. And then we go to the G7 chord, and you'll notice that the G7 chord should have 4 notes. This has 3. I wanted to keep the progression to be the same harmonic density, so 3 notes for each. So I eliminated the 5th. And again, the 5th isn't that important on a dominant chord. It's really the root, the 3rd, and the 7th are the most important ones, and that's covered here. And then we go back to the 1 chord, which is C. When we're going to take this through 12 keys, your best bet is to think intervallically, okay? It is a good exercise as well to be thinking of the key signature and staying inside the key signature, but I find the easiest way to get transposing all of this is to be thinking about the intervals. So when we go from C to F, you'll notice the bottom note stays the same, the middle note goes up by a half step, and the top note goes up by a whole step. And this is going to be the same in every key, because remember, the interval structure is the same in every major key, okay? Now, when we go from the F to the G7 chord, the middle note stays the same. Can you see that? The F stays the same. The bottom note goes down by a half step, and the top note goes down by a whole step. And then we go back to the C triad, and you can either just remember to go back to C, or you can notice that the bottom note goes up by a half step, the middle note goes down by a half step, and the top note stays the same. So now I'm going to show that to you on the piano. So we're going to start with our C triad, root position. We're going to go up to our F triad. Then we're going to go to our G7 and back to C. So the intervallic relationships here, we're going the C to the F, the bottom note stays the same, the middle note goes up by a half step, and the top note goes up by a whole step, like that. So our F, and notice our fingering, 1, 3, 5 fingering. And then we're going to go to our G7 chord. Now this fingering is a little strange, but I'll show you the intervals first. The bottom note goes down by a half step, the middle note stays the same, and the top note goes down by a whole step. Good. And look at the fingering that I'm using. 1, 3, and 4. And then you're going to go back to C. Okay? Now the reason that I'm using that fingering is so that we can have the smoothest transition in your hand. Ordinarily, we would play this fingering 1, 4, 5 for this G7 shape, but because we're coming from here, this is a smoother way to play it. Okay, so one more time, let's go C to F to G7 to C. Excellent. Now we're going to go by the circle of fifths. You know me, I like to go the flat way, so C to F to B flat to E flat, etc. And once again, in the description box below, I will leave you your very own downloadable PDF so that you can get a PDF of the circle of fifths. You can print it and slap it on the side of your piano or keyboard device. Now we're going to be in the key of F, 1 to 4 to 5 to 1. All right, and then we'll do one more just for practice. B flat to E flat to F7 to B flat. Excellent job. So now we're going to do add the left hand playing the bass notes. And at first we're going to go up to the bass notes. All right, so we're going to go C to F to G and then to C. And then we'll add our movable do solfege. Do, fa, sol, do. Right? Try it with me again. Do, fa, sol, do. Excellent. Now, if you don't like movable do solfege, we can still be friends. Instead, you could sing 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay, so let's do it in the key of F. So we're going to go do, fa, sol, do. Good. And we'll try it in one more key. Let's try it in B flat. Do, fa, sol, do. Excellent. So that is time very well spent taking it through the circle of fifths. Now we are going to sing the exact same thing, but instead of going up to the bass notes, we're going to go down to the bass notes. And I think it's an important step because most of us are kind of stuck on one, either always thinking up or always thinking down. And so what this is going to get you to do is to be very flexible, singing up or down, hearing whether the intervals are going up or down. So let's try and see. Do, fa, sol, do. Try it again. Do, fa, sol, do. Now let's try it in the key of F. Do, fa, sol, do. Great. Now in B flat. Do, fa, sol, do. Excellent. So we did 3 steps here. The first step was just to play the cadence in all 12 keys. And I played it in my right hand, but again, if you want to have extra practice, practice it in your left hand, especially if your left hand needs a little more love, which most left hands do. Then when you're ready and you've mastered that, you can add your left hand playing the roots of the chord. And I like to do it 2 different ways. The first time going up to the bass notes, and then the second time going down to the bass notes. While you're doing that, you're singing those bass notes in movable do solfege, and you could also sing 1, 4, 5, 1. And then the other thing that you could do, especially if you're having difficulty remembering the chords or you want to be better at remembering what those chords are, you can sing the chord names. So you could go C, F, G7, and C. and you could practice that in 12 keys. My goal in creating these videos is to help people to gain the skills that they really need. And I want to give these skills to you quickly and efficiently so that you can go on in your musical life being more empowered. Musicianship is empowerment, and all of the voice lessons in the world and all of the piano lessons in the world and being the greatest improviser and all of these things, being able to play fast notes and challenging music really doesn't mean that much if you don't understand what it is. And I think that that's where we marry music theory to musicianship, and that's the kind of magical place where you can be more expressive and just more knowledgeable in your music. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and a comment below. If there's other subjects you want me to cover, please let me know what other subjects you're interested in. I'm happy to cover pretty much any musical topic out there. You can also take a moment to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I post videos on YouTube a couple of times a week. And you can stay in the loop on when that happens. You can also check out my website, pianoandvoicewithbrenda.com, where I have all kinds of great resources, videos, downloads, you name it. And in the description box below, I've curated some of those resources for you, so you can go down there and check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was a helpful video for you.